Go, 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 Q. Attaboy, G-Money.
As you can see, it's fall. All the leaves are falling down. But we still got to take care of some football before we get over to basketball season. So we're still on the JON for another week.
Hey guys, welcome back to another On the JON episode alongside Thomas Sellers from the West 10 Media. Thomas, let's talk about this past week just a little bit more in detail for our listeners. What stood out to you from this past week?
Well, it's kind of sad. West Tennessee football is not doing as well as I hoped it would, but we're down to a couple teams in our coverage area with Covington and Christian Brothers. And then, but we still got Dyersburg, Strong, Haywood. But overall, you know, we've been humbled. Overall, as a region, Collierville going down was a big surprise to me. I was hoping to at least make it to the quarterfinals in 6A, but man, Ravenwood was tough and came in and proved why they're established program. So that was the biggest takeaway for me.
The biggest takeaway for me was just a few games there, like you talked about. Collierville's defense played well all season long, and they faced the Florida State commit for their quarterback, Ravenwood, who scored 32 points on that Collierville defense. And you know, a team that kind of, a lot of people kind of thinking about maybe see a rematch from Upper Central. Central was scoring 0 points. Their offense been clicking all season long.
Well, a lot of people were thinking, looking at that 5A region, they run Memphis, so they can invade whenever they feel like it. But in that 5A region, when people looked at the regular season, they're like, Springfield is a class above, and the other team must be kind of not that good.
Right.
And then you saw Henry County's 5-5 record coming into the playoffs, but look at who they lost to Beach and Springfield and teams like that. When they came into Montford, I was at that game. They were powerful, big on the line, tall, athletic where they needed to be, and just efficient.
You know, I was kind of surprised that, like, it was like Henry County had a little bit more experience in the Montford Cougar program too, from both sides of the football.
They're used to doing it. They're in the championship pretty much every year.
And also, I think you know, congratulations to Milton on a great season as well. And then they played Dyersburg, pretty tough. You know, they just fell out short.
Yeah, Dyersburg got up big early. I think they got up 28 or maybe 35-0. But those Trojans, I watched them all season. They don't quit. And they have their best core is sophomores.
Right.
So, but let's give love to Cortland Barnes and Garrett Haley and that senior class, TJ Graves. Those young men made those younger players better this year. So when they're ready to start winning championships in the next couple of years, they'll look back at the class of 22 and realize, hey, y'all got us ready for this moment. But yeah, there's better days for the Trojans of Shelby County coming up soon.
You know, I know they're not in our coverage area, but they did play a team that was in our coverage area in Moz. Moz cut it out another victory this past weekend, or this past Friday night against Huntington, won 8-7. That was a good win for the Lions, and they still play for that Memphis Gold Ball.
Yeah, and hey, like I said, we're limiting our representation right before Thanksgiving, but Moz is doing a good job. To win a game 8-7 means you have some defense. So they got the defense that can get them maybe a couple more wins so they can make that trip to Chattanooga.
And then in the next game I want to talk about real quick, the last two games of this past Friday, Lausanne is still alive. They won 35-28 over Battleground Academy. This is a huge matchup this Friday at Lausanne, but they play CPA out of Nashville.
Now, what people got to also keep in mind for our private schools, Christian Brothers and Lausanne, the two that we have remaining, this is to go to state. This is the semifinals for them. You win, you get a week off, you get the rest up before you play for the championship. So Lausanne, running game is proven, defense is proven, so hey, CPA better be ready. They got to come to Memphis, right?
Right. So this past Friday night, you called it, Christian Brothers, good call there, won 35-33 over Briarcrest. But the score to me, like the game, I was looking at the Twitter feeds off and on throughout the game Friday night, and I'm like, All right, Broadcrest looks like they just came out flat, and sure enough, they did, because Christmas was up 28-6 at half.
Yeah.
It was a Down Hayden show in the first half.
Yeah, but when you got the best player on the field, you have a good chance of winning. Now Christian Brothers got confidence. Now they go into the semifinal matchup. They have to travel. They got a long way to travel, but maybe they do like they did in the first round, go a little bit earlier, get acclimated, get rest, then let his legs be fresh so he can go out there and dominate again. Don't be surprised to see Christian Brothers at the state championship.
All right, guys, let's get some players some love this past Friday night. We'll start out with Ravenwood quarterback, Florida State commit, Chris Parson, 127 rushing, 129 passing. Like Collierville earlier, Collierville just came out short. Collierville's Tory Martin in his final season as a Collierville Dragon, 16 carries for 102, and that was a tough way to go out for Collierville's Tory Martin.
Well, that you mentioned, I'm going to see a lot of these kids in a couple weeks at the All-Star game so they can get their name out there some more. But Mr. Martin, great season, durable, hard-working running back. I'm glad to see him have such a good season.
And the Wazan Lynx quarterback still is doing pretty well for them. Broad Glenn, 3 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown running, 21 of 25 for 177. And then the running back, Craig Cunningham, 24 carries for 154.
And John, I throw in my players. I was at the Mumford Henry County game. Mr. Townsend for Henry County, the running back, explosive, broke a big 80-something yard run. Nice between tackle running. He's a complete package. Then when you look at Mumford, I gotta give some love to Avik White. They call him Vic. You know, he's a young man that's spiritually grounded, and he used his platform to help his teammates get closer to God and to preach about Christ. But when he got there on the field, he was just flat out tough. I hope he has a future in football that goes a little bit longer too. Because wherever he goes, he's going to take that mindset with him. But he was definitely a spiritual leader for Mumford in that turnaround year.
Then, you know, the Broadcrest Christian Brothers game, J.D. Sherrod in losing effort, 27-35 for 345 passing. Most of them came in the second half because they kind of throw the football to get that game, you know, going for Saints to at least get closer in that game. And then down Hayden, like you said, Thomas showed the game, 26 carries for 208 rushing. The last 2 games in general, 459, 6 touchdowns the last 2 ball games, and 33 total touchdowns on the year. He's definitely going to be a Mr. Football finalist, which he is, and it'll be interesting if he wins that. And then the difference maker also in that game, Ashton Stroder, the Christian West quarterback, who's back from injury, 16 carries for 66 yards, and then 8 of 10 passing for 80 yards. And then Maz Lions, the whole team on offense, clicked on all cylinders, but only scored 8 points, but still a good win for the Maz program.
What proves to us is the oldest adage in football. You got defense, you can win a championship. But on offense, you got to run a game that can be your best defense. You got a good chance. So these teams all got a good chance. Hopefully get some West Tennessee representation over 2 weeks.
All right, guys, it's the look ahead. It's the semifinals for some people, and then it's still the quarterfinals for some people.
For the public schools, yeah.
So we'll start out with Covington 9-2 at Dyersburg 11-0. You know, Covington played Dyersburg pretty tough in the first game of the season, and they travel up Highway 51 to play at Dyersburg.
Again, because they played a game at Dyersburg in the regular season. It's going to be at Dyersburg again, which gives them the advantage. This is a special season for Dyersburg. I think they're going to make it. My prediction is Dyersburg versus Alcoa in the championship. Let's see. I got to stick with my prediction, so I got to pick Dyersburg in this game.
You know, I'm going to do Covington just because, you know, I'm hoping they're clicking on all cylinders. And I think they're hungry from the past few seasons, especially last year, because, you know, they got the COVID bug and they couldn't play in one of those games. So I'm hoping that Covington Chargers does pull it out for the Covington offense. Maz 11-1 at Martin Westview. Ty Simpson will be a future of SEC talent. So if anybody wants to go see SEC college football players on the football field that night, Ty Simpson, the quarterback for Martin Westview, who's going to Alabama. And then you also got Cameron Miller, the running back and receiver, Mr. Everything for Maz. You know, Maz at Martin Westview.
Well, I will go with Martin Westview if I was betting with this right here. But this right here is rooting for Maz. I hope they pull it out, so I hope they have it all cooked.
You know, I do too, just because it's a good story this year regarding Coach Miller and the Lions and their senior leadership on and off the field as well. I had the privilege of talking to that team this past Friday, So again, thank you to Coach Miller and the Lions for allowing me to go talk to their team. Christian Miller's 8-4 at Montgomery Bell, 8-3. I'm gonna go with Christian Miller's because we need a Memphis team in that championship game in Chattanooga in 2 weeks. So now Hayden's still running the ball pretty well. Can't go wrong with Christian Miller.
Montgomery Bell is an establishment in the state of Tennessee, but something special is going on with the Purple Wave. I think it's going to wade through Middle Tennessee, and it's going to watch its way all the way to Chattanooga. I go with Christian Brothers as well.
And then CPA 10-2 at Lausanne, 9-1. I'm gonna go with the Lynx here because it's at home, and I think Coach Castro is definitely going to get his guys' mindset ready for the championship game in 2 weeks in Chattanooga. I know it's a tough team in CPA, but you got to go with the running game in Cunningham, and especially the way that quarterback's been playing well for the Lynx as well.
Well, they're going against a team of accountants, right?
Right.
CPA. Okay, he didn't get my joke. But I guess tax season they'll be funnier. But CPA, they're tough.
If you need your tax advice, call him. Okay.
No, don't. But the Lynx, yeah, I think Coach Castro, he has a good squad. Their defense is going to be what wins this game for them. So I think Lausanne will be able to pull it out.
And good luck to all the teams this week, Friday night. Like you said in previous weeks, it's going to be a cold one. It might rain a little bit, so definitely get the popcorn ready, get the hot chocolate ready, get the coffee ready, get the nachos ready, get the whole 9 yards ready. Because it's going to be a fun Friday night in the colder Mid-South. Alright guys, this week I have a special episode of On the JON with Mr. Depreist from Collierville High School, a 2020 graduate of the Collierville Dragon football team who pretty much saw the Collierville Dragon football make some history this past season, or this season in general. So, Mr. Depreist, you mind talking about it a little bit?
Of course, let's ask away.
Talk about it.
Alright, so this season, Dragons made it undefeated with the help of Joe Riccone, right? And what was it? It was my senior year whenever Riccone first came in, and he changed the program completely from when it started to how it is now. He changed the way everyone thinks about the sport. He changed the way how everyone plays the sport. He makes it more like an actual football team than just a family than it is. He makes it feel more like everything depends on it more than anything. He makes these players feel wanted and needed, and like that. Like there's more than just football in life as well.
You know, I've always talked about with Joe in the past few, the last couple of years, past Collierville, when he was at Rossford Christian, from when he was at White Station, and now he's at Collierville. He's always played the toughest teams non-district as well, to get his teams ready for the postseason and for the district competition as well. Can you agree to that?
Yeah, I can, because let's see, my sophomore and junior years, we were playing some teams that we knew we would win. We were playing teams that have like a little advantage in our heads that we can do anything that we wanted. But with Riccone, he was bringing in teams that we were already questioning from the beginning of the season if we could even win. And from what he was doing, he was showing that we're more than capable of being a strong team, not only in the Memphis region, but in Tennessee itself. We never thought we would be undefeated, because it's been about 40 years since the last time we were even close to being like that.
So, this season was kind of special, like you said. It was a regular season undefeated, a 10-0. They beat the likes of Germantown. They beat the likes of Whitehaven. So just talk about those two games, how it's so big to the community in general.
Well,
as you're a Collierville,
right.
You live in Collierville.
Right. Well, Whitehaven being the big bad of Memphis, always making it far in the playoffs, whether it be from the Final 8 or the Final 4, constantly every season. Same with Germantown. These past few seasons have always been good. They've been undefeated just not even 2 years ago. They were undefeated and made it to the postseason pretty far. So it's always just it's big for Collierville.
You know, the last couple of seasons as well, you know, Coach O'Neill did everything in his power to get them on track as well. So I got to give Coach O'Neill a lot of credit as well for the previous success before Roconi came in with those players.
Right, yeah. I love O'Neill. I love what he did starting with the program. If anything, I believe he started what it is now. Because the way how I said Roconi kind of finalized it, and like starting with my senior class, I didn't start the way Roconi had it. I started with the way O'Neill had the Dragons, and how we always just thought of ourselves as family, the closest that anyone could ever be. I'm still friends with pretty much the entire team. They're my brothers. They're more than anything to me. They're closer to me than my own family. The Dragons have always just been like that, though. And that's just what O'Neill brought to us, and what Roconi finalized and just kept together. That it doesn't matter how many wins or losses, we're still the closest bunch you'll ever know.
All right, to this senior group and to the whole Collierville community as well, what can you say to them that, you know, for this past season?
I'm proud of everything that they've done. I've known them since they were sophomores. I grew up out of high school, looking down on those guys and trying to teach them things to make them greater people. Not greater football players, greater men. I want them to grow up and be successful in life. And I'm just proud of everything that they've done, having a better season than I've ever dreamt of.
Can you tell me some of the seniors that are maybe under the radar that a lot of college coaches might need to be looking at?